Ryan Fitzpatrick was once the quarterback for the Miami Dolphins, and now as an analyst for Amazon's Prime Video coverage of Thursday Night Football. He's had some interesting things to say about the team in its current state. Of particular note were his statements regarding Tua Tagovailoa and his relationship with Brian Flores, as well as the latter's coaching style. We'll be covering that and more in today's video. Firstly, Fitzpatrick's impressed. Ryan Fitzpatrick is a former quarterback for the Miami Dolphins, having played with them for 2 seasons towards the end of his 17-season career. Now, after retiring last year, he's become an analyst for Amazon's Prime Video coverage of Thursday Night Football. During his discussion of the upcoming game between the Miami Dolphins and Cincinnati Bengals, he was quite direct and candid about his feelings on the current lineup and staff of his former team. He expressed that he was particularly impressed by the impact Tyreek Hill has had on the Dolphins game, as well as by Tua Tagovailoa's form. His opinion of the latter was informed by the amazing deep passes that Tagovailoa has been completing since the season began. Fitzpatrick brought up the fact that a lot of the discussion surrounding the Hawaiian has been focused on the fact that he can't throw the ball too far, but he's clearly been working on it, to the point that Fitzpatrick was in awe of those moments where a deep pass was required and Tagovailoa came in the clutch. The Amazon analyst can't wait to see what he has in store. Fitzpatrick also had some words of praise for the new Dolphins coach, Mike McDaniel. Over a Zoom call with Miami media members, the former quarterback held nothing back when he stated that what he believes to be the positive impact that McDaniel's having on the team, in contrast to how former coach Brian Flores chose to lead. Next, on Brian Flores' methods. When talking to the Miami media members, Fitzpatrick said that McDaniel's method of building up the team focused on preaching confidence to individual players, rather than breaking them down in order to reconstruct them to fit his own ideas of what the team should look like. He thinks that the difference in methods has translated well into producing good results in the field. Fitzpatrick had his own taste of Brian Flores' way of coaching during his time with the team, having also played with Tagovailoa in his rookie 2020 season. His perception is that Flores tended towards very intense challenging of players' mental facilities, and that he really believed in the concept of tough love, to the point where it might have added much more stress that could be helpful for a player's development. Different players require different modes of teaching, and it seems to Fitzpatrick that McDaniel's approach is working much better for Tagovailoa than Flores's. He said that he's been quite sure a lot of the success the Hawaiian's been having this season is because of how he's been coached, and the healthier relationship he has with McDaniel. He definitely believes that a major part of what made things difficult for Tua in the first couple of years was Flores. McDaniel has seemingly made a point to make sure Tua knows that he's appreciated and that he is part of the team, working towards success together. Football is a mental game as much as a physical one, and this new coach is definitely easier on Tua's mental health. What's more, Tagovailoa's strengths. Apart from noting Tagovailoa's increased confidence on the field, especially when having to make deep passes, Fitzpatrick also praised other aspects of his game. McDaniel's offensive scheme has no doubt given more opportunities for him to shine, having enabled more explosive plays and focusing on the run game to create advantages. But the Hawaiian skill needs to be spotlighted as well. The Arizona native commented on Tagovailoa's amazing accuracy and timing. However, if he wants to be counted among some of the most dynamic AFC signal callers like Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson, he's going to have to work on his consistency. Consistency is key, said Fitzpatrick, but it's difficult to attain. It's something that he chased his entire career. Tagovailoa certainly has the skill, and he's displayed it recently, but all he needs to make himself great is being able to do that over and over again as the season goes on and the next one rolls in. But even if he goes on to do great things, he's going to come up against more hurdles. Fitzpatrick noted that once a quarterback passes for more than 400 yards and 6 touchdowns, the opposition's defense coordinators will start to focus on exploiting the quarterback and his offense. The question then would be about how Tagovailoa will be able to handle that, and what could be done to force him into more plays that exploit the defense's weaknesses when the situation arises. Moving on, what's next for Tagovailoa? Tagovailoa. One of the last things that Fitzpatrick talked about in relation to Tagovailoa's areas of improvement was his ability to make decisions quickly. If he can process and make decisions quick enough and be consistent in that decision making, it'll elevate his game. That's what will ultimately lead to not just great plays, but great games for the 24-year-old. That will eventually come with experience and time on the field, as long as he focuses on that aspect of the game. The analyst eventually talked about his time with Tagovailoa on the Dolphins team, specifically talking about the times that he was rotated in the last quarter to replace the Hawaiian. He mentioned that that was kind of admission by Coach Flores that there were certain part of Tagovailoa's game that he just wasn't ready yet and that he was somewhat inefficient in certain areas. But that's not how he thinks it should have gone down, because for the younger player to grow, he needs the time on the field to learn. That definitely impacted the relationship between Flores and Tagovailoa, and it's why his game started to wane. That's why Fitzpatrick was so happy about McDaniel coming in. He gave Tagovailoa the time and attention he needs to flourish and become a better player. And it's that type of coaching that will eventually get him to the heights that he's capable of reaching. Other news, first up, Harbaugh on 4th down decision. After some time away from the field, Coach John Harbaugh had reflected enough on the decision to go for a touchdown instead of a field goal that might have given the Baltimore Ravens a lead late into the recent game against the Buffalo Bills. Instead, they ended up losing to the Bills by 3 points. Still, Harbaugh remains confident that he made the right call that night. When speaking to interviewers, he said that he wasn't going to make the safe decision just because it keeps the heat off of him. Before going into details of why he made the decision, he said that he stood by it 100% before and after the game ended. At the center of the decision was a statistical argument. Though the team could have been up 3 points, there would still be 4 minutes on the clock once the field goal was made. And for Harbaugh, according to the stats, there's nothing less safe than a 3-point lead or a 6-point lead in a situation like that. If the Ravens kicked a field goal, the Bills would have started at the 25-yard line and would have been in 4-down mode until they reached the field goal range. Following that, they could easily score a touchdown considering the amount of time available. That's what made Harbaugh go for the riskier play. Next, Oakland failed to revive antitrust lawsuit. Back in 2020, the Raiders were forced to move away from Oakland to Las Vegas because the stadium they were based in was falling into disrepair. They were exploring Las Vegas as a potential home since 2015. However, Oakland felt as though the NFL had violated federal antitrust laws by acting like what they said was a cartel, demanding that the city pay exorbitant fees to build a new stadium to retain the team. They filed a lawsuit seeking millions of dollars following the move, but the federal appeals court in San Francisco rejected it. Recently, they attempted to revive the suit, but the Supreme Court rejected this last-ditch effort, saying that they would not intervene with the situation. Lastly, Steve Young helps Muvela go public. Steve Young, the legendary quarterback for the NFL's San Francisco 49ers, is a co-founder of private equity firm HGGC. Affiliates from that company and industry ventures have formed a special purpose acquisition company known as Pathfinder Acquisition Corporation. A recent deal will see the company combine with Muvela, a metaverse-related firm that's focused on sensor development for movement tracking. That kind of tech would be great for entertainment, health, and sports. It's not clear where Young would like to see this new venture go, but we're certain that he'd have an interest in incorporating it into the world of American football somehow. Whatever his plans are, this is certainly an interesting development for the NFL veteran. That's a wrap for this video. Do you think Fitzpatrick was right to criticize Flores' coaching style? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.